Hey guys, it's Damien and welcome to Marketing Food Online. Tonight I've actually got a question that I'm going to answer in detail. I'm going to give you five questions that you need to have answered if you are in the market for a commercial kitchen. So if you're actually looking to prepare your food products, if you want to do it in a commercial kitchen, you could either be potentially doing catering, maybe you're doing food productions to either sell the products, or if you're looking to go to farmers markets. If you're looking to basically create a food product on the premises and the property of a commercial kitchen, what are 5 things really important that you need to be aware of? Okay, so this video is going to be just like every other video I do. I'm going to make it really fast and to the point and give you true value for your watching pleasure. So, all right, first thing first, commercial kitchens, what are they? All right, now commercial kitchens are facilities that are set up that have commercial grade equipment, such as, they could have ovens, they've got steel commercial tables to work on, large mixers, blenders, prep tables, also could have walk-in freezers or refrigerators. And what you do is you actually go to these facilities, you rent the space for a specific time frame, okay? And then prepare whatever it is food that you've got, you clean up your situation, clean up your area, you're done, you take your food out with you, or some cases, some of them offer storage that you can keep the food there as well, okay? So let's go over the 5 things that you need to find out that are ultra important to make sure that you find the right facility, a clean facility, and then also a few of the logistics. Is it close to you, where you live, etc., etc. So, number 1, you want to ask when you go to the commercial kitchen itself, you want to find out for sure what is the inspection history of the facility, okay? These facilities are like any other type of food, like food producers such as a restaurant, manufacturing food facilities. They are all inspected and regulated by the state. Traditionally, it's either going to be the health department or the Department of Agriculture. Okay, so they're going to be the ones that are going to inspect the facilities, and the owner or the manager that's on duty will have those inspection history. And then when you go in, you want to ask and say, what kind of inspection history do you have? Have you ever been shut down? Do they have violations? Are they clean? Are they not? All of that information will actually be accumulated on these reports, and that's where you want to start with, okay? That's going to be probably the number 1 most important question when you want to find out about the actual facility itself, okay? So we have an inspection history. Very important. Super important. If you find out through the inspection history that they've had violations, or they've got situations of unsanitary either countertops or any part of the facility, or they potentially, even at worst case scenario, have been shut down or have not operated, that's going to be a place that you may not want to go. And with the amount of commercial kitchens that have been opening nationwide, every single state is beginning to get more and more of these available, because there's a lot of people who want to produce food products in a licensed, legal, and sterile, obviously a clean facility. And you may not, let's say you were a caterer and you didn't necessarily want to open an enormously large kitchen. It could be very big and very expensive endeavor, okay? These commercial kitchens are fantastic because they allow you the opportunity to grow and start a business if you were in some type of food business, but you don't have to have the facility yourself, okay? So that's the first one. You want to check the inspection history. Now, second, keep in mind that no 2 commercial kitchens are alike, okay? There are some commercial kitchens that may have a larger amount of large ovens for baking baking needs. That may not necessarily be something you need. If you're a caterer, you may just need kind of like a stove, you need some refrigerators, you need a freezer and some prep tables, but you don't really need the actual large commercial ovens, okay? So keep in mind there's a lot of different types of equipment and a lot of ways they are built out in these facilities so that they will attract certain types of food producers or certain categories of food manufacturers, okay? Because not every kitchen is going to have the exact same layout and the type of equipment, okay? So number 2, disposal. What do they have? What kind of equipment do they have, okay? Now, what I mean by disposal is when I ran and operated my commercial bakery, we had to have a grease trap, it's known as, that was put in. And the grease trap is actually in some cases it can be extremely large, in some cases it can be very small. But a grease trap is what will separate when your sink or any type of butter or food materials, food debris, goes down into any kind of waterways whether it's through your sink or your mop sink or what have you, the grease trap will separate all of the grease, food particles, food pieces, and keep it from going into either a septic tank or if you're going into city water. So it basically separates all that. But after a while, that grease trap has to be cleaned out and has to be, has to be removed and in order for you to clean all of that grease and all of that food that has collected in there, okay? So you want to make sure that based on the type of food production you're going to be doing, does it have the proper disposal units in place for you to do that? And of course, the facility will tell you that right offhand. Either the owner or the manager at the time, they know exactly what type of facility they've got available to let you know what type of food products you can produce inside the facility, okay? So make sure they've got the right disposal units that are set up in place. Number 3. So now, when it comes to scheduling, okay, like I mentioned before when I first started the video, basically you rent these places by the hour. Sometimes it is a set lot. Maybe it's not only 1 hour, but maybe 3-hour lots or 2 hours or 4 hours. But you want to find out how flexible and what kind of scheduling arrangements do they have available for you. Let's say you are a caterer and you get events very spontaneously. You get an event for a wedding or you get an event for a corporate event, and you need it kind of like on the spur of the moment, if you will. So it was a Monday afternoon and you've got a Friday and Saturday to prep for a coming event. How flexible are they with a few days notice prior to you needing the facility? Or are they like 2 or 3 weeks out and say, look, you know what, you got to plan, you got to work it around what we have available. Flexibility of the scheduling for you to be in the facility is very important, okay? So the scheduling piece that you want to make sure that you can schedule it as you need it, okay? Many of these facilities will have probably anywhere from 12 to 24 people scheduled out in advance. Okay, so you may be looking at a situation where that specific unit, that facility there, may not be the best commercial kitchen for you, but there's another one maybe 15-20 minutes away in a different area of town that will be available for you to work with. So keep that in mind as far as the scheduling. You want to definitely check with them and see how busy are they. Do they have a lot of traffic? Are there a lot of people coming in and out? And if so, it may be more of a challenge for you to really operate your business effectively. Okay. Now, number 4. This one is kind of just a proximity. Where is it? This one's kind of like a no-brainer, and this is what I mean by that. If you live in an area where commercial kitchens are not very available, there's not a lot of them, there may be 1 or 2, or there may just even be 1, that they have a great schedule, they can work with you on a schedule, they have everything that you need, but it's not within a good proximity of where you are, and you're having to drive 2 hours one way to go to it, and then 2 hours back. You got to keep in mind, is it really convenient for you to be going to that facility in particular, okay? And it may be a bit of a challenge, like I said, because of where you live. There may not be 12 commercial kitchens available. Some of the bigger cities like LA, parts of Miami and New York, they have an abundance of these commercial kitchens. But in some areas, a lot of rural areas in the Midwest and in certain states that don't have a huge population or huge need or huge draw for it, it's more difficult to find commercial kitchens, okay? And if that's the case now, in some instances, and I've read, doing some research online about this, a lot of even churches offer commercial kitchens that you can actually borrow, but you want to be sure and be very cautious about the insurance part of that, and I'm going to get into that as the number 5 question that you need to find out about the liability factor and the type of insurance that you're going to need, okay? So number 4, back to what I was saying, make sure that it's kind of within a good proximity. If you're catering an event and you have to drive 2 hours one way to get to a commercial kitchen to produce a product and then another 3 hours to go to the event, it may not make sense for you to be using it, okay? So the 5th and final one, liability insurance. This is something that, of course, a lot of food business entrepreneurs definitely need, and they don't really do enough research on it, in my opinion, to find out and learn about what it is and why it is important to have. Keep in mind that, of course, food allergies are huge, and if anyone, of course, comes across some type of food allergy while they're eating your product, you might have an issue, okay? But when it comes to liability in commercial kitchens, liability. a lot of commercial kitchens about liability insurance, they're going to require you to actually have it. Now, commercial kitchens will have insurance for the people who, such as yourself, that go in there and you slip and fall, or you've got something to that effect while you're on their facility. They've got insurance to cover that. But they don't necessarily have insurance for your food, which is produced in their facility, but you're the producer of it. You've got to have a liability insurance to cover yourself and your food products. And of course, if you are incorporated and you're, let's say, Joe's Caterer, you need to have liability insurance for Joe's Catering Company. Okay. Now, where you produce the food itself, like I said, those facilities will have insurance to cover what happens within their facility. But you're going to take that food and you're catering an event, you're going somewhere with it, you're going to have a liability insurance. Okay. Now, with that being said, a lot of the commercial kitchens will also make sure that they double check that insurance before you even step foot in there. So before you even sign anything, a lot of them actually will ask you to show proof of that type of insurance coverage, because they want to make sure everybody's covered. And, you know, basically from a legal standpoint, you want to cover yourself as well. So out of the top 5 things to be super informed about, these are the first 5 that I would recommend you definitely check out when you're looking for a commercial kitchen. One of the good things that I've noticed doing some research for some of these videos, I've also found out that there is a tremendous amount of commercial kitchens that are popping up like literally everywhere, all over the country. And like I said before, a lot of the bigger inner cities and such do have a larger quantity of these types of commercial kitchens available. But it makes preparation of your food products so much easier. If you don't have $100 grand or so to invest in commercial equipment, commercial kitchens are definitely the way to go. So I hope that these 5 things do help you understand a little bit more about commercial kitchens. And if you're looking into the market of getting them, I will put a couple of resources down in the description for some websites that will give you great information on where you can find them. And of course, if you just use Google, and let's say you're in Texas, just literally go to Google and type in Texas commercial kitchen. And if you live in a certain town, type in your name of the town of the city that you're in, and it'd be pretty easy for you to pop up, and you will find some commercial kitchens for you to use. So I hope that helps you out understand it. And again, if you like my videos, do give me a big thumbs up. I do appreciate that. Anybody that you know that could use this information or any of my videos, please share it with them. I would definitely appreciate it. So thanks, guys.